Today, I'm going to be talking about my favorite book. Hello, my name is Frank Hannaway, and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps, my video channel where I talk about my spiritual path towards self-realization and the small steps I'm taking to achieve my goal, aided by my teacher, Warren, through the practice of passage meditation. So today what I wanted to tell you was I'm always trying to think of things to share with you. Usually just something pops in my face, but this week I avoided what popped in my face and decided to talk to you about a book that I've been wanting to talk to you about ever since I started this channel. And after I started thinking about it, I realized it's a book that when I travel, I take it with me. I read it first thing in the morning when I get up. I'm reading it when I go to bed at night. I use it to memorize passages. It's very, very, very special. And this is it. It's called God Makes the Rivers to Flow, an anthology of the world's sacred poetry and prose. And it was compiled and edited and so forth by Warren, my teacher. And just on face value, without just the main contents of the book, there are passages from just a few lines to several pages. I think the longest one, and it's the longest one by far, is by Ansari of Herat, which is 9 pages long. I think next to that would be 5 pages long. There aren't an enormous number of long passages, but there are also short passages of a few verses, and they're all meant to be used in passage meditation, which is my spiritual practice, and which in meditation we memorize these, and we memorize passages, and we go through them word by word, silently in our mind for 30 minutes. And so the Christian tradition is in here, the Hindu tradition, the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita are here, the Buddhist tradition, the Dhammapada of the Buddha and the Sutta Nipata are in here. The many great Sufi mystics are represented in here from Islam. There are a couple of Taoist mystics represented, including Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching. Christianity is here, of course. The Sermon on the Mount, the wonderful passage where Jesus says, love your enemies, is in here. Things from Judaism, from rabbis, from the Old Testament, what Christians call the Old Testament, Psalms. If there's something you like in that area, there's a good possibility it's in this book. With the caveat that Warren picked things that were particularly well suited for meditation, which means that they're all positive, and the idea when you meditate on them is that you are going to attain the qualities by driving them into your unconscious that are in this book. And I've quoted some of these passages before. St. Augustine, many Christian mystics are in here, many Hindu mystics. So that's the basic thing. The introduction is fabulous, and I seldom say that about books. The introduction is fabulous. And then there are these appendices that are extraordinary. There is one that tells us about the message of the scriptures. There's different ways. The whole 8 points of passage meditation are listed here, including instructions for meditation. then it talks about different ways to use this book. It's called Reader's Guide, How to Use This Book. And he talks about the Christian practice of Lectio, which is sacred reading. That's in here. Then he gives, then the verses are listed in various ways so you can find them. And there are short biographies of the mystics that are included in this book. So I promised I wouldn't say this, but this is a rare case. I have to say it. I highly recommend this book. Okay, now this is the way the book looks when you buy it. Okay, this is what I've done to mine. So I took mine and I copied somebody else that I saw do this. Has spiral binding put on it. This was my idea, was to buy Post-it tabs, and the passages that I have memorized that are in my regular rotation, I put here. Passages that I'm memorizing, I mark this way or this way with little tabs. Anyway, love this book. And one of the 8 points is spiritual reading, and I was struggling with that. I always read a little bit in the morning, but Ishwaran really suggests that you do spiritual reading in the evening right before you go to sleep, so those things are fresh in your mind. And I was having trouble doing that, and the thing I was reading was on my iPad, and I hated turning my iPad on, blah, 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 lots of excuses. So this was right by the bed, and so now I'm just reaching over and I'm doing some reading on it, and then I contemplate what I read, and then I start saying my mantra until I go to sleep. That is what I have for you this week. If you like what you heard, a thumbs up is always appreciated. Comments, I love to get comments and hear what you think about what I said, and sometimes I'm sure you will have some ideas about how what I'm doing can be improved, and I appreciate that very much. And if there's something you'd like for me to talk about, if you'd include that in the comments below, I'd appreciate it. I'll put a link to how you can get this book. Though, as I've said before, many of the passages that are in here are available free online at ishwaran.org, link below. That's all I have for you today. I really appreciate you spending time with me in this way. More than I can say. So, from the very bottom of my heart, as always, I wish you peace and joy.